sorry, but you'll have to stay.
Shut up, Forest of No Return. 1957's From Hell It Came stars Todd Andrews, Tina Carver, John McNamara, and a large number of white people playing Pacific Islanders. I know From Hell It Came is technically correct English still, but it sounds like a title Yoda came up with. From Hell It Came. Prince Chemo is being put to death for murdering his father, even though...
My father died from the Black Plague. Tata and Moronka gave him the evil medicine that killed him.
Well, which one is it? You can't have both. Moronka is now taking over as chief and is clearly our bad guy. The other one is Tano the witch doctor. Tano uses a voodoo doll that looks nothing like the prince to get two guys to stab the prince in the heart. Wait, isn't the voodoo doll supposed to do the work by itself? Then again, apparently the Black Plague alone can't kill a guy in this place. Maybe a voodoo doll can't either. Before Chemo dies, however, he promises to come back and kill everyone who wronged him because, of course, he does. American scientists Dr. Arnold and Professor Clark are bitching about the drum noises and heat.
A little knowledge is a dangerous thing.
This must be of popular philosophy. It explains why there's so many ignorant people. Dr. Arnold wants to go home to America, but wants to take Dr. Terry Mason with him as his bride. Yes, Perry Mason was a thing by this time, and they still called the heroine Terry Mason.
Here I offer her the earth, the moon, the stars.
She's a scientist. She can get those things herself. A woman is screaming, "It's Mrs. Kilgore!" She witnessed Chemo's death and wandered too close to the cemetery for the Islanders' liking, so now one of them is attacking her. They chase him off and try to revive her.
Don't be stingy at a time like this, dearie.
I like her. I hope she survives the movie. Although the drink seems to have made her accent worse.
Seems like every place you go on this bloomin' island, you break a tribal law or something.
Meanwhile, the dead prince is buried upright in a... Is that an outhouse?
They killed him. Terrible thing. He was our one link with the natives, our one chance to lick the plague.
Chemo's grave is marked by a skull on a stick. They buried him with his head intact, so whose skull is that exactly? Terry Mason, the not lawyer, is clearly not interested romantically in Dr. Arnold. At least, not yet.
Little plague doesn't worry me.
Oh, it's something worse. See that?
They got a real gang problem here. It seems this island has been suffering from the plague and a radiation fallout, and because it always happens in threes, you know there's more trouble where that came from. Chemo's widow Corey, who betrayed him before he died, is mad that Tano is now with Naomi.
I know that you make those poison darts to kill the Americans.
Are you trying to blackmail him now? I don't see that working.
I'm going to fill your head every morning with jungle flowers.
That doesn't sound like you love her so much as you're obsessed and going to cut her head off to make a vase. Shockingly, she is not wooed into submission by this.
What do you want out of life? You want to go through life alone? Don't you want a husband? Children? Like other women?
Those are my only two options, huh? Chemo's skull stick falls over and a weird-looking stump is now growing out of the grave.
Could a tree trunk grow out of a coffin?
I mean, maybe if the coffin is a giant seed of some sort, but that seems unlikely. I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Science doesn't have all the answers yet.
Yes, science is criminally lacking in research about coffin trees. Nargu thinks it's Chemo returning from the grave. Apparently this kind of thing has happened before.
He came back to life as a tree monster.
Oh, so that's what we have to look forward to. Alrighty then.
They called it Tabanga.
The Tabanga, which looks more like a tunnel at a putt-putt golf course, has a heartbeat and green blood. Nargu tells them to rip it out of the ground and throw it into the quicksand pit, but of course they don't because the movie would end then. They discuss what they should do about the Tabanga.
I can handle a gun if the occasion arises.
Yes, the #1 defense against attacking trees. It is decided that Nargu must die with the Americans. And Dr. Toothy here has some medicine that will supposedly make the Tabanga his slave that will kill at his will. Corey hears that she will also be killed, so she runs to the Americans and tells them about the plan. They decide to uproot the Tabanga that night, which has grown at an alarming rate. Well, at least I find it alarming. No one else seems to have noticed.
The pulse is weak. It's dying.
Yeah, that'll happen when you uproot a tree. Dr. Mason uses Formula 447 on it to revive its heart.
Will you help me with an intravenous injection?
Exactly how does one find a good stabby vein in a tree? Another question I never thought I'd ever ask. It takes at least 8 hours for the formula to take effect, so they all go to bed. You know, because a cursed tree we just injected with life-saving serum couldn't possibly cause any problems. Oh look, it did. Well, now how are we supposed to know that could happen? Oh dear, 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 dear.
The monster.
Let's go.
Looks like you were barking up the wrong tree. Hey, you knew that was coming and you still kept watching. Don't blame me.
The reaction never took less than 8 hours. I was so sure I figured correctly.
I mean, monkeys and trees are basically the same, right? Professor Clark thinks the islanders took the Topanga.
And then after they were here, like angry children, they decided to smash our things.
Don't you mean they decided to root through your things? No, I'm not sure if and when they'll stop. The Topanga also destroyed all forms of communication they had to the outside world. Convenient. A woman swimming alone in a 50s monster film? Surely nothing can go wrong. Well, it does, but not because of the monster so much as the jilted ex-girlfriend. Corey tries to kill Naomi, they fight, and the Topanga enters the picture. Honey, remember when we posed like this for our wedding photos? Do you have to carry her? Why don't you just throw her into your trunk? The Topanga throws Corey into the quicksand pit, and she sinks quickly with her help.
Well, how do you know it was the Bunga?
It was a walking tree. What more do you need to know? Poor thing looks tired. Dr. Toothy and Naomi set out to find the Topanga, but it first finds Chief Maranka, who throws his spear at it. You were 2 feet away. How did you miss? The tree kills him by smooshing him against another tree. And why not? The rest of the islanders set a trap while the Americans grab their guns because America. The tree falls into the trap and the islanders throw fire in after it.
The Bunga will die.
Don't leave, dear God. At least most people can outrun it.
Wait a minute, Doc. This may be trouble.
I don't know, do you think an attacking tree would knock? And if none of us were here to hear it, would it make a noise?
Please help us. We cannot kill the Topanga.
Good, you two wait outside.
As bait. Ah yes, the moment in so many 50s sci-fi and horror films where you can tell the guy in the costume is like, how am I supposed to do this? I can barely move. He's dead enough. Of course, like a ninny, Terry Mason stops and just stands there for a moment, amongst trees, while looking for a live killer tree. It's your fault. You had every chance in the world to leave.
Have you got enough light to see? This moonlight's good enough.
Now, it's very likely I may end up shooting the woman too. Is that a problem? Yada yada yada, the end. That's right, no more spoilers on this channel, unless I think it's necessary to save you from the temptation of a horrifying experience. Yeah, why is this in the dumpster? I noticed none of you felt the need to ask. I mean, there's a cursed sentient tree, and yeah, need I go on? However, something that may or may not surprise you, the Topanga was Stan Lee's inspiration for Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy. So there's that. Besides the fact that more modern-day movie reviewers hate this film, there's not really any information on how the film was received by its contemporary reviewers and audiences. This was also released as a double bill with a movie called The Disembodied, meaning it was most likely seen only by couples who got sick of making out in the car and therefore quickly forgotten. I have good news for you though. There is a website where you can buy your own Topanga Demon Tree model kit. It's currently out of stock, but it's a thing. Yes, From Hell It Came probably should go back to hell. But wouldn't it be jolly good fun if you found it before it went?
Little plague doesn't worry me.
I'm going to fill your head every morning with jungle flowers.